Monster Mojave, baby, AS. So just a quick recap, I'm running a 5th scale easy run 5687 can with a Max 6, rebranded Max 6 ESC from my Super Desert truck. I'm running it on 8S with 8mm center drive shafts, bulletproof diffs. Yeah, I'll do a whole build update. I was waiting for a receiver. I've got my receiver in. I've got a monster 32 kilogram torque Savox servo in there. I think it's 32 kg. I'm in the same bash spot as my Super Desert truck, which is interesting. I had the opportunity to bring it here today. So I'm going to bash it. I'm going to see how it handles compared to so the Super Desert truck, 30 DNT Super Desert truck is a fixed rear axle desert truck. It's 1/6 scale, this is 1/7 scale, but this is a independent suspension desert truck, so it will be interesting to see how they handle. Both are 8S, both roughly the same power, but this one is much lighter and that little bit smaller. Oh, still not used to driving desert trucks over bashers like the Creighton, but those bumps always used to screw up the fixed rear axle. So the Arrma Mojave out of the box comes with this super soft, super plush suspension, and I mean it is really, I think probably a bit too soft. I think they've overdone it. Oh my goodness, wow, it flies. That was a beautiful jump. The handling is not bad. Oh, that's a big rock. We don't want to. I bet you that rock acts like a magnet with me. An RC magnet. I'll hit it repeatedly. Tiny rock in the middle of a massive field. So just getting used to it, guys. I had some pretty big stacks here with the Mojave. I mean with the Super Desert truck. Oh, and right on cue, I have that's a big stack. These bumps here are terrible, man. Desert trucks don't like these bumps, but that's still in one piece. It's also widened. Just bash it RC. Look at that rock, I almost hit it again, unbelievable. Just bash it RC. Axle, you know, adapters, wheel wideners, call them what you will. There's a lot of nice parts on this. The center diff is a very nice setup. A mix of three. Wow, it flies beautifully. Triple M in Germany, front and top plate, and the actual motor mount is wow. The motor mount is from Fast Lane RC. Okay, their machining is beautiful, but man, it takes a while to get their parts. But once you do get them, I mean, they're a cut. You know, they're like just bash it parts, and also M2C are very nice parts, very nicely machined parts for Arrma vehicles. Just bash it. I tend to use Just Bash It. They've got a guy in the UK now that is basically doing their custom parts, and I use them a lot, and they're bloody good. Triple M in Germany are also very good, and ooh, poor driving skills from me, as are Fast Lane RC. Now I can tell you, that this is more of a boat than my Super Desert truck in the corners, but in terms of handling and the confidence it's given me to go a bit bigger, a bit earlier than the other truck, the handling is better. It's lighter. I would say it's, you know, I wouldn't use the word nimble, to be honest. I mean, it rolls like a banshee in the corners. Not that I've ever seen a banshee, but it's jumping much higher, further. It's my first time out. It's inspiring more confidence. I think that I need to put the shock oil up in this. I think it's too loose. I'm watching the front wheels, and just a rule of thumb for those of you that are bashing and wondering about shock oils and diff oils and stuff like that, I'll do a whole thing on diff oils soon. But shock oils wise, if you can see your wheels are literally look like they're vibrating almost over smaller lumps and bumps, rather than sort of following the contour of the ground, they're almost vibrating over the lumps and bumps. There's too much movement, then your shock oil is that little bit too heavy. But for an for a desert truck, you want it loose. It's meant to soak up the terrain, but this is just a little bit too loose. But I can tell you, in terms of power being delivered from this 5th scale system on 8S, this truck, I'm sorry, it wasn't built for a 185 BLX system from Arrma. It's not meant to have one in. I don't care what anyone says. I know the 185 system might have maybe a bigger top speed than what I've put in, but for me, for an RC this size, you don't want it travelling 60, 70 miles an hour. You want grunt. You want grunt, and you want low temperatures. You want to bash it all day, every day, and you want low temperatures. And for that, you need a KV motor of around less than 1500 and a nice Max 6 ESC or similar that can take 6S or 8S. That's what you want. This is now running a 1200 kV motor with a 23 tooth pinion, and it's absolutely fine. I only tested it in my garden last night anyway, so it'd be interesting to have a wee feel of the can and just see what the engine temperatures are and ESC temperatures are, if I can get my hand in. I'm not sure I can, but let's find out. Where's my can? Yeah, there's my can. Not even, I mean, it's not even warm. It is, sorry, it's tepid. As far as I'm concerned, that's what you want, and it's digging ruddy great trenches. It's travelling at speed, and it's jumping really sweetly, I have to say. It is a better balanced truck than the basically the Losi Baja Ray clone. Right, this is the area where I got a lot of, this is where the Losi Baja Ray and the Super Desert truck, basically Losi Baja Ray Super Desert truck, went across all of this undulation here. Sorry about the wind noise. This is Aberdeen in winter, guys. This is Scotland. This is a absolutely fine winter's day. It's about 4 degrees and it's blown 25 knots across the deck. So this is just as fast an RC. It's smaller, but that's half throttle. Oh, and it is soaking up the bumps. It's better in the corner down there. I always rolled the Super Desert. This is flat stick. Oh, and we're wheeling. It's still, see, that's a lower KV motor with a bigger pinion gear, giving much lower temperatures and higher top speed. that is what's, you know, I'm not blowing my own trumpet. It's not me. I'm not reinventing the wheel, but these companies are turning out these RCs, and I appreciate them, and the design. This is a good design. It's a good build. The component parts aren't great, as you know, but I like Arrma, and I'm falling in love with this truck. I got to be honest with you. I was wondering what the point of it was, but this is the point. I think this is going to be my go-to winter basher, but they need to upgrade the electronic system as well as upgrading or increasing the size of the cars. I think it's a cop-out to build a car this big and not put a bigger electronic, a bigger ESC and a bigger motor in it. I really do. This thing handles better, much better than the Losi Baja Ray clone. This would kill a Losi Baja Ray on a track, absolutely murder it. This is a monster Mojave. It's, I don't know if you can see that, but that is just basically a constant line of wheelies and jumps, high-speed jumps, and it is just sucking it up. Maybe I take back the viscosity of the shock oil. That is cooking on gas. It's just a lot of fun, guys. Guys, I said earlier on I'm not sure I like the Arrma Mojave. I hadn't bashed it. I was like, nah, not sure. I was not sure. I have to say that this is a desert truck I can dig, because it's independent suspension. It's not everyone, oh yeah, I love the scale experience. I don't like the scale experience. I want to bash the living daylights out of something at high speed across uneven terrain. I don't want to be doing scale stuff. I want to be hammering the living daylights out of it, and this is... Oh, that is the worst crash I've had with an RC. Oh my giddy Ann. That was shocking. Well, we're also evidently doing a durability test. So we've hit the roof on the sliders. There's absolutely no damage to the body, which I'm amazed. No ripping. And there's no damage. Oh. Yeah, look, we've got a... That's interesting. The rear chassis brace screw has unwound itself and has basically almost completely come out, and that is my fault, because I don't like, I know everybody's going to hate on me here, I don't like Loctite on M3 and M4 screws. I like to do them up nice and tight, otherwise you have got to spend an age trying to get them undone. I've just done that up with my fingers. An age trying to get them undone. It's not much fun. Got to get heat on them. It's annoying. But anyway, what a beast. I can't believe there's no damage to that truck. And there I am, just absolutely hammering it again. When I was here with my Losi Baja Ray clone, I was... Oh, there's some knocking going on in there actually. Maybe I have trashed it. Something's knocking. Something's not right. There's a knocking noise coming from in here. It was when it was going over bumps. It might just be the... Oh, it's this. It's just the body's been turned inside the bumper, so I think it was... It's fine. Rear chassis brace is hanging off, but the car itself is still cooking on gas. Guys, these are big hits. I'm not trying to break it, but I'm just getting a little bit more loose and more confident, and I'm not a good driver, but it does inspire confidence. It really does, and it jumps pretty good. It is a little bit nose heavy, even though the motor is miles back, I have to say. You don't get any control. By the way, guys, Vaz at Aussie RC Playground, if you want to do or want to know about a model, you need to look up his model reviews. Vaz is the best RC model reviewer on YouTube. He is literally the best. We've lost the rear chassis screw now, which makes things easier, I guess, in a way. The rear chassis brace screw. Let's just make sure it's not snapped off. No, it hasn't. So, hey-ho, and away we go. It's still got the Arrma bar across. If we bend the chassis, we bend the chassis. It is what it is. So, Vaz does brilliant reviews on RCs like this. And he was spot on. The biggest complaint I have with this truck, apart from everything else I've just said, is the stock wheels, tyres, tyre treads okay, wheels are rubbish, really cheap looking when you get up close, and the foams are terrible, far too hard to foam, ridiculous. But overall, as a basher, if you are thinking about getting oh, that was bad news. If you're thinking about getting a desert truck to bash, I think this is the one. Frankly, I definitely think this is the one. I have no idea if I've broken anything today. The diff should be fine because I bulletproofed them. I don't know if my motor mount is hanging off. That's a ruddy great can attached to it. No, it's still solid as a rock. We just had a screw back out and that's it. And it's done some of the biggest stacks I've ever done with an RC. This truck has done. Some of the largest stacks. Oh, 0 speed. I'm running Gens Ace, 5,000 milliamp hour. I'm sorry about the wind noise, guys. Gens Ace, 5,000 milliamp hour, 4S batteries, EC5 connectors. Only because they kind of came on the last truck, and so I got these batteries because I didn't want to convert other connectors, and I swapped the ESC over to this truck. This is a great truck. I gotta say, this is a really, really good truck now that I fixed it. I think it's good fun out of the box. I think with an Arrma 185 BLX system, it will be good fun. I do. I do think that. But this is how it's meant to be. This is how it's meant to run. It's meant to run 8S. Anything over 1/8 scale, I think, and even 1/8 scale, I'm now running my Creighton on 8S, and that's the way it should be, I think. I think 8S is the new 6S. You know? These motors are becoming way nicer. Way higher quality electric motors now being offered that give a lot of low down control, even from a bigger can. I think this is how it's meant to be. This monster Mojave that I've made, I think is the best you can get. And I'm so pleased. Every now and again you build an RC or you modify one and you think that is a good job, and this is a good job. And that's LVC. That is the end of the line LVC wise, so I'm going to run it up to the other end of the field so I don't have to carry it. But that is my unrooted RC versions of an Arrma Mojave. I call it my monster Mojave, and it is a beast. It is a cool truck, and it looks way better with the widened wheels. That is a pretty awesome piece of kit. Peace.